going to start with a little backstory on where the campaign is beginning. Solain is a young world. So young that some members of the elder races still remember the time of creation. The gods, fresh and inexperienced in their powers, have always been a constant presence in Solain. Their gifts were wildly sown and bountiful in the world. However, recently, it seems the gods have turned their backs on Solain. Their gifts have been revoked from many, their presence lost. Others still manage to tap into their latent abilities, but at times these abilities come at a great cost. Holy men and women who still have power can be worshipped as gods themselves, or torn apart in the streets by ravenous mobs. Cults are cropping up to worship new or false gods. The armies of the Golden Elves from the southern isles of Altrune, led by their merciless queen, Alatiel, have begun attacks upon the coast and are capturing strongholds across the mainlands in an attempt to spread their power and influence. Among all this strife and conflict, it is the common people who find themselves most at odds with the world. War and chaos are becoming commonplace, while their prayers go unanswered. Bitterness and anger towards the gods grows, while confusion spreads like a disease. As tensions rise, dangers grow, and darkness spreads, survival in Solain depends entirely on one's own skills and quick thinking. For if the gods can't help you, who can? So I need everyone, in order to start, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Off to a great start.
Oh, fantastic.
So the con save?
Con save.
Lovely, that's the thing I have plus 0 in. 13.
13.
7.
7.
Now let me go and keep my dice.
20.
21.
20 and 21. So, Matt, Sabrina, the two of you begin to awake. You find yourself in a cold, dark place. The stone floor underneath you is somewhat damp. You look around and you realize you are in a cell. There are bars on one wall that leading out, and there are two other formless shapes kind of shoved in a corner in there with you. But you look up and see one another, and so tell us, what do you see?
Go ahead.
Describing your character.
One of you describe yourself, and the other has to do it too.
So when you look up, you see a Katzen. He's one of the cat people. He has dark spotted fur and bright green eyes, and he's wearing monk's robes.
Alatiel, what do you look like?
I look human. Long, just past the shoulder kind of length hair. Her eyes are violet. They almost light up in a manner if the light hits them right.
You are not wearing armor currently. You are wearing you're wearing like prisoner's rags almost. They didn't bother to change the Katzen's clothes because they were clothes, but you have been removed from your armor.
That is unfortunate. But I'm going to make sure that everything is in its place.
You have none of your belongings on you.
I meant attire-wise. We don't want anything slipping. I just woke up in a strange place.
Ah, that's what you meant. JJ, what was your roll again? 13?
13.
So a few minutes later, the two of you, you look up and you kind of stare at each other like, what's going on? Alatiel fixing her clothes to make sure that she's not giving anyone a show. You hear a little groan in the corner as one of those small bundles sits up and looks around.
So yeah, you see a tan-skinned halfling with light blue eyes and blonde hair. Just sit up, very short, obviously. And I have some ghostly features. How would you describe that, Bryan?
I'm not quite familiar with this type of halfling, so he is... I'm just going to go based on what I think it is. He has very gaunt features. His eyes are kind of drawn and sunken in. His skin is a little tight against his bones. He just seems malnourished from the look of him, but he seems healthy enough. He just looks a bit creepy.
Yeah, that's me. Sure.
Is anyone going to say anything to anybody while your final lump in the corner over there is still unconscious for rolling under 10?
Off to a great start.
First roll of the campaign, ladies and gentlemen, a 7. Good job, Nicole.
The sad part is it's a 6 because it was a +1.
I did actually
no.
give you my roll before she did, in its defense.
A creepy-looking halfling. He sits up and I stare at the two of them. So does anyone know where we are?
In a room. Pretty sure.
Look around the room. What do I see?
You see that you are basically in a cell. There is a chamber pot, one, for the four of you. If you want to see anything beyond the cell, that would be a perception check.
20 modified.
20 modified. This is a dingy kind of cell. There's no windows or anything, and based on the walls being rather moist, you can probably guess that you are underground. You see a chest across from you, and that's not in a cell. That seems to be where the guards would sit, next to a table, but there's no guards in the room currently. To your left, as you look up, there's a few more cells, and then to your right, you see a door with a little bit of light coming from underneath.
A little bit of light?
Just a little bit of light. Like you see the crack of light spilling from under the door.
Huh. Now look at the cell. Does the cell have like a keyhole or anything on it?
There is a keyhole on the door, like where the bars connect.
I searched the room for like anything I could possibly use to pick the lock.
Roll investigation.
Nat 20.
Alright. So as you're groping around looking for something to pick the lock, you do come across something sharp. And you go, haha, and you tug on it, and you realize that you hear a yelp as you tug on it, and it is connected to the last individual in the cell. You're pulling the horn of the final individual. So, Nicole, if you would like to.
You pull the horn of a red-skinned tiefling with dark hair, and she opens a singular golden eye and just kind of glares at you. What do you think you are doing?
Trying to find a way to get us out this cell.
With my horn?
In my defense, I didn't know was your horn.
You are an idiot. And she sits up.
Who are you? Who are you people?
Well, my name is Jelltur. As you can tell, I'm a halfling.
Can you let go of my horn, please?
I'm assuming I let go as soon as I tugged it.
I don't know what your life is like.
I let go of her horn. Nice one you got there.
Thank you. Piper, it's a pleasure.
Piper.
I am Scratch.
Like Scratch? Is that a cat thing?
That is my name. Is there a problem with my name?
No. I'm just saying. I was just clarifying. Is it like Scratch? Like spelled Scratch? Like spelled Scratch? No, the entire time I say Scratch, I do this every time.
For those of you listening at home, JJ is making a scratching motion with his hands. Like
I
someone's in the
extend
middle
my
of a cat
claws. Would you like to find out?
No, I'm good.
I do not think we need a demonstration.
Wait, actually. And you, ma'am? I point at Alatiel.
I'm Alatiel. Ta-da!
It's nice to meet you all, I think.
If nothing else but to cease the awkward introductions, everyone please make me a perception check.
18.
Okay.
Oh.
Natural 20.
Ah.
There we go. Second roll today. Much better.
6, natural 20.
19.
I like this orange dice right here. It's the other set of tiny dice.
19.
Alright, so all of you hear it. All of you did very well on that. That was a DC 15. You hear the sharp crack of fine leather boots on stone approaching, and then a key in the door. As the door is thrown open, light floods the area. It was previously lit by, like, smoldering down torches, not very well-lit torches. But light spills into the room, and a tall gold elf opens the door leading out of the prison and shuts it behind him, locking it, and then placing the key in a pocket before turning to face you. He is 6 feet tall, with golden skin and pale blonde hair. He is wearing gilded armor, a white cloak, and a silver circlet twisted around 3 green gems, and on his waist are 2 scimitars. He approaches, and he actually removes this pair of, like, almost furred gloves and slips them in his belt. Well, It seems all of my prisoners have awoken.
And it seems we have a guest.
You four will be facing trial come the morning.
May I ask for what?
You are to be put on trial for aggressive actions against the Altrune military, and thusly the Queen herself.
What kind of aggressive actions are you talking about, exactly?
Well, he takes out a scroll, and he looks. The tiefling, he looks at you, Piper.
I just give him a little wave.
You are guilty of interfering with an operation within the mining town that we had taken. Your interference caused the loss
kidnapping.
of several of our men.
It would be a few will-o-wisps, some crazy chick who was stealing the children of town.
Yes, and we would have received them much easier had you not interfered. The halfling, he points at Jelltur. You are guilty of theft of confidential documents, and thus treason to the Altrune region. Porate's fist is under our control. You are a citizen of our region.
Those documents themselves is the treason, but whatever.
Your trial alone is a formality, or I would cut you down myself right now. You, he points at Tia. You attempted a mutiny upon one of our ships. But you, he points at Scratch. You are the worst.
Am I now?
You skulked in the trees, murdering our men in cold blood as they peacefully passed through your realm.
Good job, Cat.
And that, he says, rolling up the scroll and putting it back into his pocket, is why you will go to trial, where you will be found guilty, and you will hang. And by the end of that entire endeavor, I'll be ready for lunch.
Yeah, have fun with that.
And with that, you feel a slight rumble in the ground. Make an insight check.
Sounds like a problem to be underground for. Oh, shoot.
16.
You
I'm liking these dice.
You know what? Could be worse.
said insight?
Yep, insight.
Yeah. No?
13.
7.
Oh, 11.
16.
DM's first roll of the game. Natural 1. You all see on this gold elf's face a clear sense of worry and concern. That was not supposed to happen.
Hey, you know, that sounds like party time.
Well, the ground shakes again, this time harder, to the point where he has to actually draw back and grab the wall, and any of you that are standing would have to make a dex save to avoid falling as well.
I am actually on all fours.
Last I knew, I never actually got up. I'm just seated wherever I was.
Yeah, just
Dex save. I got 12.
12. Jelltur, you fall on your ass.
Oh,
The ground is, it's like earthquake level shaking. Dust is falling from the ceiling, and as you catch your balance, or in your case, fall flat on your ass, you see the stone open against the far wall of the prison. Out jump half a dozen small creatures that scatter to get out of the way of a larger, hairy beast wielding a maul. Rebounding from the shock, quicker than any of you, the gold elf draws his scimitars and with twin flashes of steel cuts down a few of the smaller creatures. His pride and cockiness come off him like an aura before the maul comes crashing down on him, denting in his armor as it crushes his chest. The lifeless body of the gold elf is slammed against the cage door. The remainder of the small creatures cackle with glee as they turn their beady eyes to you, but the larger beast rumbles in order in a guttural language, causing them to pause and chatter amongst themselves. They then release a shrill battle cry and turn towards the door. As they leave, the large beast exits, grinning at you before hefting his club and smashing the ceiling above the door, causing rocks and blocks of stone to rain down, trapping you within the room.
well, that was an unfortunate turn of events.
I suppose everyone needs a little excitement in their lives.
As soon as they leave, I will head over to the edge and see if I can find keys.
Oh,
on
you saw the key get put into his pocket.
I will immediately go for the key.
Alright. You grab the key out of the pocket you saw and put it in that pocket, and click with that, the cage opens.
Let's get out of here.
Alright, is there any other exits or entrances in this room?
The hole that those creatures just clambered out of is still there in the wall.
So we have two options. Either try to dig through that door or go through the way they came.
Well, I'd also like to remind you, you did see a chest in the room.
Which probably, or at least potentially, holds our belongings.
And I would like a proper change of clothes.
Yes, darling, you do look a little ragged.
I go to the chest. Is it open?
It is unlocked. They didn't assume you would ever get out of that cage.
Alright, I open the chest.
And it does contain your belongings. So you begin to suit up, and each of you, as you go through your belongings, you find that there are things in there that you didn't put in there, that you don't remember owning. Piper pulls out a beautifully crafted viola from among her possessions. Alatiel, you remove a pair of golden bangles that would wrap around your arms. Scratch, you pull out a beautiful obsidian stone, finely polished, but it does not seem to reflect any light. And Jelltur, you pull out a desiccated rat's claw, clutching an unlit candle. And while all of these items are attunable, they have to be attuned, when you touch them you realize you already are.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't recall carrying something like this.
Nor do I. I actually, Piper checks the tuning to make sure it's in tune.
Perfectly in tune.
Yours is not only attuned, but it's in tune.
Alright, well, I hook my claw to the side of me.
Alright.
I'll, pop those bands on nice and tidy.
I'm assuming our weapons are in here.
Yeah, your weapons are there, your armor is there, all of your items are there.
Alright.
You've only recently been brought in, so...
I store my rapier, put my short bow on my back, and have my daggers on my sides as well.
There you go.
You may notice that Scratch has only taken a pouch out of the chest.
Have no weapons on you there, Scratch?
No.
Pretty sure.
Is it because you're starting to scratch people?
They are unnecessary.
Whatever you say.
I, for one, am just glad to be feeling a little bit more proper.
You feel a little bit better, darling?
So what kind of armor is everyone in?
I'm in studded leather.
Piper does not wear armor, actually.
Much like you, she was thrown into the cell wearing her clothing.
I am rocking scale mail.
And it probably looks fabulous.
You know it.
Well, shall we make our way?
I look around, do I see any other exits?
Just the hole in the ground that, well, technically it's a hole in the wall that those creatures came through, but you see that it's in the wall, but it goes down, so it's a descent. You're already underground and it's going deeper, and there is no light that illuminates it.
Katzen have dark vision, right?
They do, so you do see the outline of it all, but it just keeps going.
Are there any candles in the room, or does the claw already have a candle in it?
The paw has a candle in it.
I also have light, so that's a thing, if needed.
Well, who here doesn't? Who here has dark vision aside from the cat?
Everyone but you, apparently.
Again.
I light my candle.
Alright, Jelltur takes out a flint, strikes it once, you see the sparks, and then it's still dark. Set, Jelltur.
Yep.
It works.
Alright, I'm good to go.
So we've decided to go down instead of out.
I was thinking of going out myself, but,
If you want to dig through the rubble that blocks the door, you're more than likely to be my guest, but I'm not one for heavy lifting.
If it went down, it probably comes out somewhere.
I'm not really in a mood to fight a bunch of angry, shiny, pretentious elves.
Well, either way, we're going to have to do some fighting, because they kind of went that way.
so we can go fight some shiny, pretentious elves, or we go down.
Maybe if we're lucky, we won't run into any more of them. It's the best we can hope for at this point. So while they stand there, I start making my way down.
Alright. The halfling who's holding an unlit candle, as far as you're concerned, starts walking down the dark hallway.
I'm pretty sure he's a madman.
Not the brightest, is
I kind of feel like he's going to hurt himself.
We need to keep an eye on that one.
I follow him.
I'll follow the cat.
I'll cover the rear, I guess.
All right. So you descend. This has been the Reliably Chaotic podcast. Champions of Solain is an original Dungeons & Dragons adventure written by Bryan Scharf using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule set published by Wizards of the Coast. My name is Bryan Scharf, and I've been your DM. You can reach me at ReliableDM on Twitter.
This is Jair, also known as JJ, conducted the character of Jelltur.
This is Nicole Summers, and I play Piper.
This is Matthew Reed, and I play Scratch.
The part of Alatiel was played by Sabrina. The Way of the Empty Hand Monk, played by Matthew Reed, and the Bardic College of Misdirection, played by Nicole Summers, were both created by Bryan Scharf. Theme music by Adrian von Ziegler. All other music by Kevin MacLeod on the Incompetech website. Detailed information on music used is provided in this episode's description. The music for this episode was selected by Nicole Summers, and the episode was edited by Matthew Reed. Contact us on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic or email us at reliablychaotic@gmail.com. If you like us and want to support our show, please support us on Patreon at patreon.com/reliablychaotic or by leaving a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Thank you for listening. We hope to see you again in our next adventure.